We've got spin control, we've got construction, we've got outer material and compression rating. That's what like sort of a golf ball is made up of. Now I know for a fact, because I see this with students, we're thinking about all those things in a completely wrong way. It's costing you shots, it's actually probably costing you money. These are 5 things you've got to consider when choosing your next golf ball. Just please to me, think about these, because you'll play better golf. My first point, and I think this is a big one, it's a big word really, compression rating. So, whoa, there's one. Listen to that, there's 2. What speed does it take, think about this, to activate the ball? That's all I want you to think about compression rating. What speed does it take to make this do its job? So, a low compression golf ball will require a lower amount of speed in order to get it to do its job. And I think that's the simplest way of thinking about it. So if you're a beginner, let's say, with a slower swing speed, we've got to be looking, well, that's not bad for one-handed. Go on then. Go on then. Maybe I should chip one-handed more often. My point being, simply think about this. A lower compression requires a lower amount of speed to activate the construction. Whereas a high compression golf ball, and I think often golfers think about this the wrong way. We think high compression means high handicap, but it's the opposite. A high compression golf ball has more layers, or it tends to, and it requires a higher amount of speed in order to activate the golf ball. You know what, if that goes closer, and it doesn't go closer than my one-handed, I've got to chip one-handed now. So a higher swing speed player, and this doesn't matter what brand, will benefit from different golf balls. I've pulled them all out there, oh no. So for example, in Vice, a Pro Plus is more of a high compression golf ball. Whereas, let's grab these, a Pro Air, or let's put on the best one to be fair, I think this one. No, where's it gone? Where's the drive? There it is. This is more of a low compression golf ball, so you require a lower amount of speed in order to activate the layers within the ball and basically travel straighter, travel further, and the ball will do what you actually want it to do, or, well, more often likely to. I realise the through's on the floor, but this probably should make a lot more sense. You're probably thinking, well, why are these different? Well, it's actually the way they're constructed. Just have a look at the picture there. You can see 4 layers, and we'll go into this later in the video, whereas you can see a lot less here on this golf ball. And that's a key point, but that's for later in the video. Let's firstly talk about skill level. So beginner, intermediate, advanced. Like, I think a lot of people will go and buy a golf ball because we want to buy the best thing we possibly can. And what I mean by that is, like, we want to buy golf premium products, and that tends to be the most expensive golf ball. Well, that might not be the one that's right, because, like for me, right, I always think about it this way. If I go and jump in an F1 car, as much as I want to drive the fastest I can, I'm going to be terrible at it. I'm going to crash straight away. Whereas I'd like to think if I got into a go-kart, I would be all right. Each of those cars is different for a different skill level, like different golf balls. So if you think about this simply as you're trying to find something which obviously is within your budget. God, it's winter. Anybody hear those puddles? Yeah, my point being is, like, you want to find the golf ball that's in your budget, but then it's more suited to your skill level. Goes back to this point. Just because it's expensive, it doesn't mean it's right for you. It's just dialing down and going and being honest with yourself. Am I a beginner? Am I intermediate? Or am I an advanced player? Because that will statistically change what golf ball you would buy. So we're going to head to the fairway now. This is a super difficult shot and a long way out. But I think it helps me explain what my third point in this video is. Speaking of F1, I definitely jumped to the bandwagon with this. I watched the first season of that Drive to Survive on Netflix and was pretty much hooked. I probably actually preferred it to season 1 of Full Swing. I know, that's probably not what I should say. Okay, so the next point is cover material. This is big, you know, cover material, because it makes a difference of how that ball will react, how durable will it be. You've got 2 types. You've probably heard of urethane cover. They tend to be like those more expensive, higher end models within the brand. Like, for example, look at the difference of these here, and then please bear with me here. I'm going to absolutely butcher this. Surelin, we'll put it here. Surelin cover. They'll react totally differently. And by the way, this is what I mean by that tough shot. Right flag to right trouble. Horrible. We are going to attempt it though. So for example, right, a Pro Plus, this ball here in Vice's range will have a urethane cover, okay? This Vice Drive will have that Sutherland, blah, 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 that one. You know what I mean by that, okay? And what you'll see is the differences are that Sutherland will be harder wearing, more durable, but around the greens won't feel as soft. But when I come to this shot right here, it will give you a little more distance. Whereas for an advanced player, thinking about and taking into consideration the outer cover, having it more of a urethane cover, will give you that feedback of it feeling a lot softer around the green. You know, like those little delicate ones, those little ones out of a bunker, those shots will feel that you have a little more delicate control. I'm going to prefer these on some nice lies. Let's start with the Pro Plus, so the urethane cover. Oh, it was thin. But you know what, that's right down the throat of the flag. You know what, there is no picture on the scorecards because that is going to be around 10 feet. Right, let's try that again, but let's go with the Sutherland cover. And I'll be honest, you probably won't feel the differences in that cover. Like on shots like this, it will be apparent a little more around the green. I'll flick one up down there for you so you can hear that difference. God, this is a cold morning and not the shot I want to play. Oh, we've absolutely launched that. Oh my God, that's gone so far. That is literally a prime example of this. Did you see that's finished? I know I thinned the first one, but from 190 out, it's a steady 4-iron in this weather. But that cover, and probably being a little bit of a lower compression golf ball, which I spoke about, has just absolutely flown. That is mad. How far that just flew. Like, it's gone literally probably 10 yards further than I would have anticipated. And I think just going back to those points, you can sort of see how we're on the third point now, but I'm probably even changing what golf ball you think you should buy. Whether it's skill level, you might lose more balls, going for a cheaper option is more cost effective to our budget, to actually thinking about the F1 analogy. And then the outer cover. You want to hear this by the green though, because like I say, the urethane over the Sutherland, I hate that word, I'm not going to say it anymore in this video, but it will feel different around the green, and that's where it will really come to light. So for a more advanced player, you're just not going to want to go for that Sutherland cover. Even though it will be more durable and it will go further, you could end up with instances like that shot I just hit where it just goes bye as it goes past the flag. Ooh, that's thin. I can't believe how close that's actually finished. This, ooh, can't flick it up. This is where it finished. It was straight down the flag. That was hit so well. Now, before I click this, let's just go and pick up this one. This is where my lovely thin ended. Sorry about the flag. You know what? Isn't it mad? Thin to win. How often, like, do we hit those shots and we're like, oh, that's actually ended up all right. Right, anyway, listen to this, right? There's just two distinct differences. I've got a muddy glove now. Listen, this is the more urethane cover. This is the Sutherland cover. I said I wasn't going to say that word again. Do you hear those differences? Slightly different acoustics. You've got a softer outer cover to a more hard and more durable one in the Drive over the Pro Plus. Okay, the next one is big and it's spin control, but it's not here. It's not what you think, right? It is from the tee. So we're now going to head to the 18th tee, and its spin is a big thing, and this is, I think, when I've explained this to some of my students to make sure there's no cards coming, I think we're good to go. They always go, oh, well, I want it to spin loads on the green, and I'm like, I don't care about the green. I care about what it does on the tee. And they're like, well, I've not even thought about it like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, it's dead easy, it's nothing too complicated, but we all think about spin of the golf ball in the wrong way. Getting the right spin, if you're a slow swing speed player, is going to make you hit it further. It's going to keep the ball in the air, which is what I want. I panic every time I see it. Please don't be scratched. We're okay. So I mentioned distance. Yes, we want a golf ball that gives us the most distance. Sometimes spin can play a big factor in keeping the golf ball in the air. But I would say that's probably more down to the cover and the compression. Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is all these 5 points really have to come into one to get the most ideal golf ball. But think about this logically. For example, right, a Pro Plus is actually designed to spin more and stop quicker on the green. That's probably what more like a top level player wants. Whereas we've got other golf balls, let's say for example, the Pro Drive, the Pro Tour, they're more balanced spin. Now what you're going to see in terms of ball flight is, if you're a golfer who spins it and slices it, or spins it and it goes way off to the left or right, having a more balanced spin golf ball will help you hit it straighter. It's not going to be the answer to everything, but it's going to help you hit it straighter. That also being said, a more advanced player will enjoy a little bit more of a golf ball. They can move, they can shape, they can hit the draw, they can hit the fade on demand. Where if we're being honest, right, if we're a casual golfer that doesn't play a lot, all I do is hit it straight. So I'm not really bothered or arsed about that, are we? If I'm being brutally honest, right? So for example, like you got to look at this as a Pro Plus, as I say, is the more spinnier golf ball. The others are going to be a lot more beneficial for you in actually keeping the ball on the straight and narrow, down a hole, I guess, like this. So spin is a big thing. It's not just by the green. It actually has a big role in you being able to shape the ball and keep the ball a little bit straighter. So I've got two here, a more balanced spin in the drive, and I've got a higher spin golf ball in the Pro Plus. I'm going to try and fade these the same. This should move more than this. Higher spin, lower spin. So this has got the S cover, the Surlyn. You keep making me say this. And this has got the urethane cover, so it just actually, like the bite test, softer, a lot harder. Don't do that. Okay, right, let's start with the Pro Plus. So I'll try and fade this as much as I can. I should be able to shape this one more. Right, over this tree, back in the middle of the fairway. That's the game with this one. Woo! Look at that move back in. Tell you what, I should try and play that big fade all day long. Did you see the shape on that? Whereas now, it's got my T-peg, we'll do the same thing with the drive. We should see a lot less movement, okay? A lot less of an ability to shape it. And I'm actually thinking of a story here. I played a golf course with my mates, right? And I picked out the wrong golf ball, right? I picked out one of these over the Pro Plus. I usually gain the Pro Plus, and I'm not saying I'm an advanced player, I like to shape it. I'm talking just literally here. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and fade it into that flag. The ball just didn't fade, it went bang! Dead straight past it, and I was like, oh I've used the wrong golf ball there. When you get tuned into this and you're more aware of it, which you will be, you'll see this. So watch this now. This will have far less movement in it. I'm going to try and start it down the same over that tree, and let's see what happens. I mean, look at that. I've tried to fade that. That's probably moved half a yard left to right. And I've tried to put the exact same swing on it. Out the middle too. That's just a prime example of how a more advanced ball allows you to shape it. A less advanced, more beginner golf ball for more distance, a slightly different cover, is more favourable just to trying to keep the ball straight and keep it in play and just getting distance. So can you see how much goes into the golf balls? Right, there's one more thing we need to cover which we haven't yet, and this is big. The construction. Construction is massive, right? You have 2-piece, you have 3-piece, and you have 4-piece construction. Right, so let's get it out. I mentioned this right at the start of the video. A Pro Plus has a 4-piece construction, so 4 layers to try and activate. That's why that's going to be more favourable for an advanced player. There's other balls and other brands that are more 4-piece construction. These tend to be a lot more expensive too, just in terms of the brand, right? In terms of the model within that brand. Whereas, let's grab another couple out here. We've got this golf ball right here, which I think is a 3-piece, yes, a Vice Tour, is a 3-piece construction, okay? Very, very different. This will make sense in a second. And then if I get the 2-piece one, that's 3 in the air. I will get there in a second. I think this is the 2-piece, pretty sure. Yes, is a high durable 2-piece construction, and that's the Vice Drive. Now, what this means is, please listen to this. Typically, 2-piece golf balls are more durable and better for distance. That's also why they will shape less. Okay, whereas 3 and 4-piece tend to offer more spin, better feel, and I say more control, but more control of what you can actually do with your ball flight. So you can start to see here how you can build a picture. If you're a golfer who looks for distance, if you're a golfer who wants to keep the ball straight, and if you want it to have a good budget and you're a low skill level, you can see how a two-pace, I'm going to have to say it again, Surlin cover with a low compression is really going to help you play much better golf. Whereas if you're an advanced player, that's not going to be any good. So you'd be looking for more of a 3 or 4-piece golf ball with a higher compression, a softer feel, and more of an ability to shape it. These are the things you've got to be considering when choosing your golf ball. I told you at the start you think about this differently, and I know you will right now. Thanks for watching.